University of Maryland trustees, administration, faculty, and staff, friends and family of the graduates. Whether you're joining us in person or through the live stream, welcome. And to the class of 2021 and those here from the class of 2020, congratulations. I'm so sorry I'm not able to be with you in person today. It would be an understatement to note that this past year has not exactly gone according to plan. You've attended class virtually, you've made good luck offerings to Testudo remotely, you've taken shots at doctors' offices and pharmacies instead of at Bentley's. You've lost a lot this year. Experiences, opportunities, and hardest of all, loved ones. I know that for some of you, this day is bittersweet. Some of the people who helped you along your journey aren't here to see you reach this milestone. But for all that you've lost, for all that we have all lost, you've gained a lot too. Memories and friendships, new strengths and new skills. And today, a degree from the University of Maryland. Now, I'm not a graduate of UMD, but the company I lead is. IonQ was co-founded by Professor Christopher Monroe, who some of you may know. And if you don't, you might know Chris's daughter, your classmate, Mary. About 20% of IonQ's employees are proud Terrapins, so I know how special this place is. But today, I ask you to reflect not only on the past year, but the past century. My father, Philip Chapman, was born into a world we wouldn't recognize. In 1935, 90% of rural homes didn't have electricity. Just 1 in 20 had a car. And over the next 86 years, my father watched the world transform. He saw the invention of the transistor, the personal computer, the internet, the cell phone, electric cars, and artificial intelligence. When my dad joined the Australian Air Force, roughly at your age, they taught him to fly in a biplane. And just a few short years later, he joined NASA as a scientist and an astronaut and helped to land a man on the moon. And earlier this year, shortly before he passed, he watched the Perseverance rover touch down on Mars. My father witnessed and participated in a mind-boggling amount of technological change. But what he saw in his lifetime is nothing compared to what you will see in yours. Your children will look at today's technology and be amazed how primitive it was, in much the same way we see my dad's biplane. Not too far in the future, we won't have a rover on Mars, we'll have a colony. We'll have all the clean energy we could ever need. Lifespans will be measured in centuries, not decades. The point I'm driving at is this. When you're standing on a curve, on the tangent of a curve for all you science and engineering majors, it can be hard to tell the ground beneath your feet is bending. It's why for so long, so many people thought the earth was flat. But step back, widen your field of vision, and the fuller picture will come into view. Graduates, you're standing on a curve of historic proportions. The pace of technological advancement has been accelerating exponentially for more than a century. But to where? Are we hurtling towards a utopia or an apocalypse? Will technology save the world or destroy it? We all know the pessimist's answer. But I've worked on the frontier of technological innovation for decades. I've been privileged to peek over the horizon, and it has made me an unrepentant optimist. Graduates, I invite you to be optimists too. And during the coming decades, technology will open doors to opportunities that have been closed for all of human history. Opportunities far greater than those afforded to any generation before you. I know you might not view the future as hopefully as I do. A pandemic, a messy political system, climate change, economic inequality, systemic racism. At a glance, the future frequently looks dark. And in the face of that darkness, this may be an uncommon sentiment, but one that I believe deeply. You couldn't be graduating at a better time. In science, as in commencement speeches, hyperbole is a cardinal sin. So let me prove my optimism. First, by telling you a bit about quantum computing, a field being pioneered here at UMD. We believe within a few short years, quantum computers will be able to simulate the behavior of matter down to the molecular level. For example, if we had a digital model of penicillin, we could give scientists the data they need to develop powerful new antibiotics. But penicillin, a molecule discovered only 100 years ago and made up of only 41 atoms, can't be modeled by today's most powerful supercomputers. Atomic structures, like much of the natural world, aren't binary. They're quantum. And modeling penicillin accurately will ultimately require a quantum computer. Such a computer would allow us to explore millions of new molecules, paving the way for advances in drug discovery, chemistry, material science, and much, much more. This school has become a magnet for quantum computing innovators from around the world. The discoveries that have happened here have put us all on the precipice of a massive leap forward. In this respect, quantum computing isn't unique. We're approaching similar tipping points across the technological landscape. We're on the verge of historic breakthroughs in battery technology. Soon we'll be able to build batteries that can power an airplane, or allow an electric car to drive across the country on a single charge. We're on the verge of historic breakthroughs in clean energy. Today, solar panels convert only about 20% of light to energy. Soon we'll be able to model photosynthesis and design solar panels that work at 95% efficiency. If we could capture just 1/10 of the sunlight that hits the Earth every day, we could power the planet. And we're on the verge of historic breakthroughs in the study of aging. Soon we'll be able to regrow and replace kidneys, lungs, and hearts. And the first person to live to 200 has already been born. Likely some of you here today. Technology builds on itself, getting faster and faster with each new breakthrough. My point is this. For decades, speakers like me have called on graduates like you to go out and solve the world's largest problems, to cure cancer, to end hunger, and to save the planet. But you will be the first generation of graduates that will have technology powerful enough to achieve that vision. And when I say you, I mean all of you. The future will be built by community organizers, activists, and artists, just as much as engineers, mathematicians, and geneticists. Technology, after all, isn't just invented. It must be integrated into our society and our culture, adopted, distributed, managed, and sometimes even restrained. The curve of the future is yours to bend. Is technology a force for good or evil? Will it save our world or destroy it? Utopia or apocalypse? You know my answer, but here's the thing. My answer doesn't matter. Yours does. You're the ones who will determine through your values and the actions they inform which way the scale tips. And that ultimately is why I'm an optimist. You. Your commitment to justice, to equity, to driving meaningful change is unlike anything that any of us have seen before. You are the leaders of this moment. Your generation has taken to the internet, to the streets, to the halls of power, to demand justice for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Dante Wright, and Ahmaud Arbery, and countless others. You fought for climate justice, for economic justice, and for social justice. To be sure, these fights are far from over, but it gives me great hope knowing that you are the ones leading the charge. Innovation brings disruption, and change sometimes comes with pain, but it also brings unbelievable, unprecedented opportunities. So seize them, bridge the gaps that have too long divided our world, and build something. Congratulations, class of 2021, and go Terps!